today I'll be building the Ministry of Magic, so here is day one. So I'll probably build this for an hour, so maybe a bag or two, and then we'll go on from there. So yeah, this is a pretty nice set. I got it recently at the LEGO store. They had it on sale. I think you can get it online for the same price. It was $90.99, I think. So in Canada it's $130 regularly, so it's a pretty good price. And it was a set that I wanted, so I got it. The minifigures in this one are really quite nice and probably some of the best for a Harry Potter set. And the Hermione and Ron faces here are different than their normal ones, which is nice. Deathly Hallows Part 2 set, which is cool. It's always nice, or Part 2, right? I don't think I'm wrong there. I guess at least these two don't have any light printing or anything, but overall I think they're really cool characters to get in the set. And probably odder ones. This is it for the sticker sheet. It doesn't seem like there's too much, and it looks like those undesirable number 1 pieces will be prints instead of stickers, which is nice. There's the sticker sheet. And yeah, this is my first stream in a while. I'll do this one a little bit during the week, probably about an hour each day, and just build this set up. So the telephone box is the first thing, and there's 4 stickers for the top of that. I like this set. I like last year's Harry Potter wave. It was a pretty strong wave, a lot of different things. This wave, at least this year, except for, I guess, Gringotts, it's not all that interesting. The Black Lake set was fun. What else? There's that other one that came out with the Black Lake, the Room of Requirement. That was a nice one, and then the Summer Wave was just not the best. Yeah. One of my favorite, more recent videos that I've had come out is when I had a video just talking about why I do and don't want LEGO Lord of the Rings to return, and part of me talking in there was also talking about LEGO Harry Potter and its just current state, and me not wanting LEGO Lord of the Rings to end up like that, because I'm sure if they made playsets, the first few waves would be really strong, and then it would just continue and really overstay its welcome and just be just like Harry Potter. And I think that Lord of the Rings, the original wave, is one of the best LEGO themes ever. So I wouldn't want that messed up. But I guess I'd still take the playsets, the minifigures, and even though the minifigures that came out with those sets hold up today, or at least most of them do. But I'm excited for the Barad-dûr set. I don't entirely remember what the minifigure lineup was for that one. I know that it was a lot less, I feel like, than Rivendell, where it might have been like 5 or 6 characters. I think Frodo and Sam were there, and then I believe like a bunch of orcs, which would be nice to see what they do with the orcs. I'd sort of hope that they look at least somewhat similar to the old ones, just so they're compatible. But I would, yeah. I would assume that they might even, actually, I don't know if they still use that hair piece or not that they used for the orcs, or not the orcs, but, like they still use that Uruk-hai sword, so I'm sure they continue to use that. I'm not sure about the helmet. I don't remember the last time they've used that, but there's really no reason to make a new piece. You might as well just bring back the old one. It's a pretty good one. But I'm excited to see the Barad-dûr. The leaked survey one looked quite good. Very tall. Not sure, like in comparison with other sets, if it's like as tall as the Bugle or what. Of course, it's not as tall as the Eiffel Tower or something like that, but I would think maybe the Bugle. And I'm not sure if the price is the same as Rivendell or a bit less, a bit more. I think it's a bit less, but yeah. I wouldn't mind making this a yearly thing and having a big Lord of the Rings D2C, because the Rivendell was amazing, and Barad-dûr, just from that leaked image, looks really quite nice. Stickers. So that's that. You can fit a minifigure in there. It's pretty simple. I guess the only downside I see to it right now, of course it's not complete, you can see brown and dark tan in there, which is a bit disappointing. Yeah, I don't know why they didn't just use a red 2x4 there. Of course, the other parts make sense. I don't believe they make those, but yeah, sort of weird. First one down, 3 more to go on these stickers. Ooh, these are nice. The dark green masonry bricks. Those are pretty cool. The Harry Potter theme has had some pretty cool colors for the masonry bricks, like is it a lavender? Is that what they call it? The lighter purple color that they used on Weasley's Wizard Wheezes. Not 100%. I'm sure that it's also used on the new one, the smaller one. I'm not 100% sure on that. I haven't really looked all that into the set, and I don't plan on it. I don't plan on buying it when I have Rivendell, or Diagon Alley. But I'm sure they used that one, but that's a nice color of masonry brick, and I think there were a bunch used in Diagon Alley. I think they might have had a dark blue on the Owl Emporium, or actually I don't even think there, no, Scribulus, I think it was. I believe so. I think the Owl Emporium is the little build that's on the side. There's, like, for Gringotts, I feel like there's a side build that might have a building, and it might be or a newsstand, or the newsstand is with the new Weasley's Wizard Wheezes. I'm not 100% sure. But Gringotts looks really nice, I guess. Talking Lego Harry Potter with this stream, that's a cool set. So here it is. I think it looks pretty good. You can just see some colors that you wouldn't want to see. Okay, so these aren't the biggest things, but that's your footprint for each column of builds, and I'm sure if you bought multiple of these sets, you could get a sizable ministry. But yeah, I don't, just looking at the side footprint of this, I don't know if the minifigure lineup's really nice, but I don't know if this, I guess I'll have to see. It's a bit taller, right? So I can't really judge it right now, but the footprint of just this stack, the beginnings of this stack is pretty small, so I think at $90 it's a good price for the set, but I'm not sure if it would have been worth the full price. And it's nice getting a Lego set, or a set from Lego on sale at a pretty good sale price, so that I can get the points, because I'm trying to save up some points so that I can put it towards Rivendell. And about $300. I have a stack of instruction manuals over here. I'll be able to scan this one, get 20 points each. Seemed like a really easy process if you haven't done it. Just go into your camera on your phone and scan it, and it takes you through a little bit. But it was pretty simple to do, and it for sure seems like it would be a time-consuming process, so you'd sort of just have to set aside a day and be like, I'm gonna just start scanning my instruction manual sets, of course, if you just have a bunch of them. So I think my plan, after I scan a bunch of the ones that I have, would just be to scan them as I go, not get a whole bunch of them and scan them. Just, where's this part? Okay, looking for this. The second one of this is put on the other side and I can't see it. Oh, there it is. So I think the section for this one is the fireplace. What I've seen with this set is that some of the sections are just not greatly detailed, and I think that's something you have with the newer Harry Potter sets, the much newer sets, last year, maybe the year before. Yeah, because I think the year before was when they launched the modular Hogwarts system. So ever since then, except for Diagon Alley, I guess, and now Gringotts, even Gringotts actually, there's not as much detail as I feel you had with the 2018 and 2019 sets. Especially that 2018 Hogwarts Great Hall is it's really detailed and an amazing Harry Potter set, and you just don't have those details as much, and even the small play sets, the graveyard. Now, one that's really good is that the Polyjuice Potion mistake. That's a really nice one. I think it's one of the best recent ones. Okay, so you sort of, I don't know exactly how this play function is going to work, but this area seems somewhat detailed. I really like the dark green color of this, though. It looks quite nice. One other thing about this set is that fountain. That fountain is definitely a bit sad looking. It's a really cool thing, I think, in the movie. Of course, you have Mudbloods getting crushed, which isn't the best, but it's a cool fountain. But I don't, yeah, unless, is that what this one's trying to represent, or is this one, because it's definitely Hallows Part 2, so I'm assuming that this one is trying to represent the one with the Mudbloods being crushed, and not the one with the house elf and all the magical creatures surrounded by the wizard. And I'm gonna, before I review this set, if I do, I'm gonna have to look at the statue to see which one this is trying to represent, because I don't think Lego would be wanting to try to have the Crushed Mudblood one, but maybe. Who knows? I guess it would be more accurate. So. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So I think there's 6 sections in total. And then the sort of bridge between the two at the top, the fountain, of course that telephone booth, but other than that I don't think there is any more after that. I think Umbridge's office is like the most detailed one. I don't think you have any sort of interrogation room in this, or the, I don't entirely know what it's called, but you do have like the Cat Patronus and the Dementor, so maybe it's represented. I haven't looked really into this set in a year or so. So, I remember when these got revealed though, I thought they were really quite nice sets. I still need to get the Shrieking Shack, and there's actually a few more that I'm missing. The small one with Luna and Harry with the baby Thestral, and the big size, the adult Thestral, is one that I for sure need to get. Alright, this is sort of being built up, and I think it'll create a sizable enough thing that actually looks decent. I think Grimmauld Place was definitely the best, and is one of the best Harry Potter play sets, I think. It's a really nice one, a really good minifigure lineup. Creatures. I love getting other house elves. I'd love to get Winky at some point. Yeah. After I finish this bag, I should check the time. I have a cup of tea that I need to go get. So I'll get that. I'm about to finish this build, and then I'll grab that, come back, make a little schedule for this stream. Oh, yikes. Other way. Oh, whoops. Just take this all off at once. Or just break the whole thing, I guess. Whoops. Breaking the whole... Oh, great. Dropping things everywhere. Put these the wrong way. They're supposed to hold up the candle pieces. When I tried it out, it didn't seem like that fireplace system worked as well as I feel like I'd want it to. Let's see. Okay. Thank you. I think the future of Lego Harry Potter. I think the theme should end soon. Maybe next year. Of course, I'm sure it's continuing next year. But other than a Durmstrang ship in Malfoy Manor, we've got a few Deathly Hallows Part 2 sets at this point, and I feel like it captures it well enough. A lot of characters. There's a few that I like, but like Rita Skeeter's coming in the magazine. Like we haven't got Igor Karkaroff. At least I don't think so. So yeah, I think a Durmstrang ship is like at the top of my list of things I think we still need, and probably the maze. So maybe go back, make a few Goblet of Fire sets, Deathly Hallows Part 1 and 2 sets, fill in a few gaps. But I don't know if next year maybe would be the start of a new Hogwarts system, and if that's it, the third Hogwarts system, which is getting really out of hand, honestly. It's just, I'd rather them just stick to a system and go with that and not change it up every couple years. But I think the first system, that 2018 to 2019 or 20 system, was far superior to the current system of modular system. It's just not. There's a few really good separate sets, I think, but in general, it's just not as good. Okay. Here it is. I think that looks pretty good. Of course, it doesn't have really much depth to it, which I guess sort of worries me. This needs to go on top of it. I think they're gonna have the same floor. They're gonna be too small when they go on top of this. There's not gonna be any space for things, which worries me a bit. Because I really don't remember how the set looked built or anything, so I don't know what to expect, but just looking at this, there's not going to be enough space in there for a decent sized interior. Okay, so I can tell the time here. It's been going on for 20 minutes. So yeah, let's try this out with Ronald Weasley here. Okay. So if we put him here, he should fall back. Here he goes. Oh, that system actually worked quite well. It actually works pretty well. Or if we wanted to just appear out of nowhere, you can't really do that because you can't stand there. So it's more just a disappearing thing. Yeah, if you pull it down, he goes flying. It works like it should. Alright, so I'm gonna go get that cup of tea. I'm gonna come back and build the second bag, which a couple new minifigures, Umbridge being one of them, the third Umbridge we've gotten, I believe. Yes, third different Umbridge. This one, unlike the others, does not have any skirt printing, which that's a fourth minifigure with no light printing, so I guess there's a good selection of minifigures here, but the detailing on them does not seem to be great. Can't tell anything by, yeah, it looks like the only one that does is Harry Potter, and that's only because the coat and piece or print exists pretty right. Jeez. So let me go grab that, and then I'll be right back. Bag number 2. Alright, so they do have the same footprint as the last ones. So I guess we'll be able to see. Oh wait, she has light printing? Okay. Cool. She has some dress printing. Didn't notice that on the instructions. That's nice. It's just weird that Umbridge doesn't. since the last two, the one in the brick helper pack, as well as the forest one with, completely blanking on all names today. It looks like the face print is the same as what I can remember. The torso print might be the same or it might be different. I'm not 100% sure. It looks different to me than anything before. They for sure got Umbridge's face quite well. Dolores Umbridge. There. Ron's wife with a very generic face print, but she has leg printing, which is nice. I think that torso is exclusive. Might have also been, I don't know if this was the same one that they used on Ginny in the Hogwarts Express, if that's the same one, because it looks like a similar one, but I don't remember Ginny having leg printing, so I think it's different. There's the Cat Patronus piece, pretty nice one. Got a Dobby mug with my cup of tea today. Fits the theming. You know, I think with 3 sections, this will be a decently sized thing. I don't know what we're going to get for Harry Potter next year, so I think I'm going to just build this bag, and that'll be it, and I'll build some more tomorrow. But for Harry Potter next year, say we get another March wave, what should we get? So, this year was 2 normal sets, no Hogwarts sets, but of course that doesn't rule out the possibility of one. I feel like we could see a new Hogwarts system, which is why I think in the summer wave you could see something like a Great Hall. And, of course, these are very generic sets. We've had them a bunch. But I don't know for sure, but I feel like the Chamber of Secrets might be retiring. I'm pretty positive that the Great Hall is retired. But I have no idea with some of these 2018 Harry Potter sets, because I feel like I've seen the Hogwarts Express line around for a while, but of course that has to be retired now with a new one. And it just feels like a thing that you have to have, a Great Hall. So if there's a new Hogwarts system, I would for sure like it to be more in line with the 2018 system. It was well detailed, it looked nice, the exteriors as well as the interiors were nice, just everything about those. There might have been a few not as good sets, but they were really strong sets, and I think they just looked a lot better than anything you got with the modular Hogwarts system. And so for a new system, I'd like it to be like that. I really don't care whether they have green roofs or gray roofs. I just want detailed things and more space to move around, you know. You have play sets, you need to be able to play in them. You can't just... because some of those modular ones, there's not enough space to do anything. I do think that the Chamber of Secrets was a really good one, even though the Great Hall is small. I think all the classrooms and the offices were actually pretty fun and nice. I really liked the Polyjuice Potion mistake, as well as the hospital wing. Everything else was not as great. I do think the combined look, though, does look pretty nice, even though it does still look flat, which I think is the issue with the modular Hogwarts system, is everything just looks flat. There's no depth to anything. There's no play to anything. And if they're going to do it, I think it needs to be a better system, and it's a change from the modular system would be nice. So we're of course going to get Hogwarts sets next year, or a set or two. They seem to like those trunks, so maybe we get another one of those. I hope not, but it's possible. Buildable character. I'm really surprised they haven't done like Buckbeak, so that's seems like a possibility. A Durmstrang ship for sure, though. It's my number one thing that I think I would like right now. After hello, how's it going? Let me see. Okay, these dark green. All these dark green parts are quite nice. Starting to get some red into here, which is, I guess, a nice change color. Some dark brown. These ministry sections seem to be quite nice. Nothing really just stands out and doesn't look all too great. I was building two of these for absolutely no reason, but I technically do need part of it. So, Harry Potter next year. Feel like what I want is really dwindling down. I'm pretty satisfied now for each movie. Where, like, you asked me a year ago, I wouldn't have been. But now, with Gringotts coming out, the Ministry, this summer wave with that final battle, which I think is a pretty solid one for the new system. It's a lot better than other things that we've gotten. So, yeah, I think I'm ready for Harry Potter to end and something to take its place. I'd love the return of Pirates of the Caribbean. And I guess you could make the argument that it shouldn't really return. There's nothing new coming out, but at the same time, Harry Potter didn't really have anything. I guess it had a Cursed Child play, and it had 20 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And Fantastic Beasts, but it's continued on with success without having anything come out. So I would love the return of Pirates of the Caribbean. Of course, maybe Lord of the Rings takes its place, and that's the license theme. But I don't know. It sells well. So, as much as I think I want it, I don't see Harry Potter ending. Maybe, like they do in 2024, they introduce a new Hogwarts system. Maybe that's after a couple years of that. Maybe it's time to end it. Because you get to the point where every 2 years you're releasing a Hogwarts Express or a Great Hall and a couple other things along the way, and you try things new like the trunks and the buildable Dobby, so small buildable characters, and the banners and the books, and it's just, I don't those have obviously not done well. They're always on sale. It's just clear to me that most of them are too expensive and they just don't do well. And it is what it is. And the other ideas you've already done or are already out. You're really limited. And I think, we're with 2024 going on 6 years, the theme, it's been a fun run. And I've liked it a lot up until I'd say this year, but then Gringotts comes out, and that's amazing. It's just... I really like the Lego Harry Potter theme. And the feeling I got from building those first sets, I haven't felt, well, I will say I did sort of feel it with the Indiana Jones sets, which sucks. That feels like it's not continuing. But it's run its course. It really has, and I think it's time to end. I'll miss the theme, and I'll be excited to see its return in 10 years, but I think it's time for Lego Harry Potter to end. I think it's been a good run, but I think it's time to end. And I'm excited to see in 10 years what a return would look like, what new things you'd be able to see. Of course, a big thing with the first wave and the minifigure series was the introduction of mid-legs, the new wand pieces, other new parts, but like things like that. And it was really fun, and I think it's just sort of run its course. Yeah, the interior of this thing is not big, but the outside looks really quite good. I like it. So I guess this is some sort of desk area, or newspaper area of some sort. Oh, put it on this. So I don't know if this theme ends what I'd want to replace it. I think playset Lord of the Rings is great. Now, I think if play scale Lord of the Rings was to return, I don't want it to just be pumping out sets left, right, and center. One wave a year of like 3 to 4 sets. Sort of looking at Indiana Jones there. Just limited amount of sets. I think that would be the best way to go. You can have higher quality things in there. I don't know how I feel totally with the new minifigures and if they're better. I don't like the elf hair pieces at all as much. Okay, so this is the interrogation room. That is tiny. That is really small. So I don't know how, like, I'm worried that you'd end up with a lot of minifigures that just don't have as much detail. And maybe I need to look at them, but I feel like you have some really well-detailed minifigures for Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit. And I just don't think you'd have that. You look at Harry Potter, and I'm looking at the 4 minifigures here, and 3 of them don't have leg printing. It's just, like, leg printing should be a thing. Of course, with suits and stuff, you don't need it as much, but with the outfits in Lord of the Rings, they're pretty intricate and detailed, and I think you need that. So yeah, that's that. think I'm gonna end this stream right after I finish this. I'm liking this set. I really like the color of it. It's just the interior spacing seems tiny. Very, very tiny. So, I'll just show you that now. But yeah, this is what I'm assuming is the interrogation area at the higher spot for Umbridge. You can sit your minifigure there. That is very tight. I don't know how Umbridge's office is going to work, but the exterior looks great. It looks really good. So let's just see how this connects, how it looks. So that's 2 sections right there. One more, I believe, and then the top area. I think this is sizable, but like there's no depth to that at all. But I think with minifigures decorating the scene, it'll look a lot better. But it's okay. So Umbridge's office is next. Yeah, I think it's a good set. Just it's in line with the new Hogwarts system where it just there's no depth to them at all. So other than Umbridge's office, I'm not 100% sure what the other interiors are gonna be. I don't know, like, I made a Harry Potter video a year or 2 ago, probably, maybe even 2 or 3 years ago at this point, where I was talking about sets I'd like to see in the future, and the Ministry was one of them. I don't know if this set is what I wanted. I think the minifigure lineup is really strong. The exterior of it, I think, looks really good. I think if you had 2 of these, they would look really, really good. The fountain needs to be bigger. The exterior, I think, are perfect on these. The interiors just are nothing, and they really need the depth because there's just no depth to them. So I think if you push it out a few more studs, 3 or 4, 2 or 4, I think you get something that's a bit more sizable. And of course, I don't know what price you'd be looking at this, because at regular price, this is $130. If you were pushing 200 on this, so I believe the Chamber of Secrets was $200. If this was a $200 set, what could it look like? I think I'd like to see that. I think a $200 Ministry would have been better. But I think at this price, it's a good set. It really lacks depth as from the exterior, and I think with minifigures populating the set, it looks really good. But you turn it around, there's nothing at all to the interior. So if that's important to you, I wouldn't suggest this set. The minifigures, I think, are really strong. They do certainly lack detail when it comes to their leg printing. Umbridge is a downgrade from the last few. She just has no skirt printing, no toe printing, which is an obvious downgrade. The Patronus cat piece is really nice. There's not too many stickers, and they don't seem to be the most integral of stickers. Of course, there are 2, being the Ministry signs that are very important, one being quite large, so if you're not the best at stickers, I guess I would suggest that. For Deathly Hallows Part 2, it's great to get these characters, Yaxley, the Polyjuice versions of Harry, Ron, Hermione, Pius, Arthur Weasley. I can't remember if we got Arthur in the Burrow one set, the UCS Burrow that we saw in the survey leak, as well as the Sorting Hat, which the Sorting Hat does not look great. Actually, it looks fine. It's a fine representation of a large Sorting Hat. It's just not at all necessary. I think the Burrow looks really good, but the playset was really strong. And that's one where, like, you actually have an interior to that thing. It's a really, really good set. and you have an interior, and I think you have a decent interior on Grimmauld Place, but even that one's not the best. You go back a few years, Great Hall, um, the one I just said, that you actually have interiors, and I think you need that with these Harry Potter sets, and you don't have them. So going into next year, say it's a whole, this year was the end of this era of Harry Potter sets. No more modular Hogwarts. Let's just say that's a thing of the past. I think the new system, make it more playable. Make it so that you actually have an interior in these sets. Make the minifigures a bit more detailed. If that requires 2 less minifigures, I honestly don't care if we get leg printing on all of them and sacrificing a few generic characters that we just don't need. Another Harry, Hermione, Ron. Just don't really need them. This set has a great minifigure lineup that fits the scene. Of course, certain ones have to fit the scene. The minifigure lineup is sort of dependent on that. But I think making things more detailed, adding depth and playability is important to these sets. And I hope to see it if the theme is going to continue. I don't mind another Great Hall if it's like the 2018 one. But along with these generic Hogwarts sets, these Hogwarts Express, these random buildable objects that we really don't need, these trunks, these banners, whatever they are, honestly, if we can get 2, 3, maybe 4 really solid sets, good Durmstrang ships, sets like the Polyjuice Potion Mistake, amazing small sets, sets like the Graveyard is another one, the recent, I think the Hospital Wing, another good one that's, it doesn't have a ton of depth, but you can play around with that thing. The Black Lake, a good, really nice one. A really solid one. I think the Room of Requirement is another really strong one, and I think this one had a chance to be a really strong one, and I don't think in any way it's a bad set. I think it looks really good from the outside. It maybe looks a bit small for the Ministry of Magic. This is, after all, the Ministry of Magic, and I don't get the Ministry of Magic from this. It's just like, it's cool. It exists, and I really like the look of it, but it doesn't feel like the Ministry of Magic, whereas Diagon Alley and Gringotts, the D2C ones, feel like Diagon Alley. You can walk down that, and you have all this space. It actually feels like Diagon Alley. This doesn't feel like the Ministry. And of course, we're comparing apples to oranges here with a huge set and a $140 set. It's totally different. But I still think you can see it throughout the line of Harry Potter that you can make good small sets, good $150 sets, $20 sets, $50 sets, $100 sets. You can make really strong sets, and I think it needs to return to that if the theme is going to continue, because I don't think it can continue with these really lackluster sets like Buildable Dobby, Hogwarts Quidditch trunks, banners, books. I have all the books. They're fine. They were actually kind of fun play sets. They look decent on display. Folded up into their book form altogether, they kind of look cool. But if the Harry Potter theme is to continue, it needs to return to what it had with 2018, which was detail, depth, and a playability aspect to it. So, hope you enjoyed this stream, and tomorrow, build a couple more bags of this. So, thank you.